With summer in full swing and the humidity rising, I want to give you guys 12 more options for this scorching hot and miserable heat wave we're experiencing. And really that's kind of par for the course for most places here in the summertime anyway, but it's really heating up now. And there is a difference. In the very beginning of summer, you start getting some of those warm temperatures end of May, early June. It's hot, but it's not quite as humid depending on where you are. But for here, it was a relatively dry start to the summer. Now it's really starting to get humid, wet, hot, all of that stuff outside. So these are some more options for you if you want to expand your collection and have some things that you can pull off in this heat. I'll drop links to all these down below to discounters for you. If you want to pick any of these up, you can get them at prices below retail, which is always the way to go if you can. I also have a mailing list and a texting list you can sign up to if you are on the hunt for any deals, rare finds, and things like that. If that does interest you, hit the first link down below, sign up, or you can send a text to the number down below to sign up for those text alerts as well. Anything rare, hard to find, discontinued that you can think of, I'm on the hunt for, and I notify you when they do become available, or even big restocks or sales or whatever, so make sure you jump on those lists. Now let's get into it. We'll get things kicked off with a nice $20 cheapie here, Tommy Bahama Saint Kitts. Really cool bottle on this one, kind of has a soft texture to it for lack of a better term there. Something a little bit unique, although you do have to be careful because it can scratch off. I don't know if you can see that corner there, but you got to be careful with that. Now this one has starfruit, watery notes, and orange. Very refreshing, very uplifting, kind of has a vacation type of smell to it, and this scent overall reminds me a little bit of Versace Man Eau Fresh, primarily because of that starfruit note that both of them do use. Now the Versace isn't all that expensive either. It's about 40 bucks. So you're looking at double the price, which, you know, this is still a great way to go if you are on a pretty lofty budget. But this one still is the way to go if you are on a pretty hefty budget, or you just want to pick up a nice dirt cheap scent that you can spray on heavily and wear it hard when it's hot outside. Okay, next up, let's go with Parfums de Marly Greenley. We're kind of jumping categories here from cheapie to a little bit more premium. Now, this one's all about the green apple, the musk. There's some citruses in here. Really nice, kind of sour, fruity, citrusy, summertime scent with an oak moss kind of green, masculine undertone. Very key point there. That oak moss plays a big part. You pick up on it off the dry down, it smells amazing. And so that does kind of give it more of a masculine component, whereas a lot of other citrus, fruity scents can start to lean towards the unisex direction if they don't have anything balancing them out. But this one does have something to push back on that. And as I mentioned, it's a little bit more expensive. Now, sometimes like Fragrance By will get Parfums de Marly's in stock for below retail, and generally that price will be about $179 for a 125 ml full presentation like this, which is better than retail, but again, still not cheap. However, I try to accommodate everyone, and if you do have a little bit of money laying around, maybe you want to treat yourself to a more premium product for a special occasion or whatever it may be, this is an option that you can go for, and you know that you can get your money's worth out of it even in summertime, because a lot of times, a lot of my favorite niche offerings are more heavy and sweet, and I'm definitely not going to be reaching for those right now. So here's an option for the summertime if you want to spend a little bit. And we'll kind of flip-flop back over to another one that's very cheap. $20, sometimes a bit less. I've seen it as low as $18, $17 before. Crazy affordable. It's Nautica Voyage. This one's all about apple, the green notes, musk, and so there's some lotus in here. And I've always kind of described it as having a little bit of like a cucumber smell, which is interesting, but it's crisp, it's green, it's refreshing. It's been a while since I've smelled this. God, I love it. I really love this so much. Look, it's sub $20. The quality is not going to compare to something like a Parfums de Marly or a more premium designer. But when we're talking stuff in this price range, this is one of the best out there. It does bring, for this price range, again, some of the best quality and best performance that you will find. It's crazy good. And as you could probably imagine, and as you could probably remember if you've been around for a little while, this has gotten all sorts of hype. This is nothing new. It's been a while since I featured it, but I do think it is still well worth the placement in videos, even now in 2023. There's a lot of flankers of Voyage at this point. I still think the original is the best. It is basically a must-have. For this price, you can toss it in for, you know, 18 bucks, 20 bucks, just to get over that free shipping threshold or whatever it may be, and you will get yourself a great product. Love this stuff for the summer heat. Okay, let's keep it moving with BRIONI Eau de Parfum Eclat. Now this one here has grapefruit, ambroxan, and musk. Now, one thing that I kind of realized the more I've been wearing this one is that the grapefruit accord kind of reminds me of a similar grapefruit smell as Light Blue Forever / Light Blue Italian Love uses. Now this one is toned back and there's some more support, so I wouldn't say that it smells like those. When we're talking, comparing them side by side, they are different for sure. Again, this one has more supplemental notes going on to kind of tame down that grapefruit. However, the type of grapefruit that's in here is very crisp. It's very kind of tart. It's a little bit sweet, and it reminds me a little bit of the accords that are used in those others that I mentioned. So it's kind of a little comparison that I could draw somewhat. But again, they're different things. But I really like this BRIONI. Now, they have a lot at this point. They have the original EDP. They're all EDPs. The new Essentiel. We have the Eau de Parfum Intense, and now this one. So 4 total. They've been pumping them out pretty much every year now. I'm sure they're not going to stop. They're very good for the price. This is going to be your best bet for the high summer heat. It's a little bit more classy than a lot of the others that may be out there on the market. Has a little bit more of a mature feel. It can be a little bit more versatile in situations like work environments and things like that. Maybe going to school when you want to be held at a more professional level. One you should check out. Next up, John VARVATOS Artisan Pure. You guys know the drill with this one by now. It's got orange, clementine, there's a bunch of neroli in here, petitgrain, musk. There's some other citruses as well. Smells great. You know, this one is, I think right now, around $32 to $35, 125 ml, which is phenomenal because at one point, not long ago, it was going for every bit of $60 to $65 for the same bottle size on most discounters, which is still a fair price in the grand scheme of things, but it was more expensive than other John VARVATOS offerings. It's finally gotten down to the normal range now, and at this price point, it is an absolute steal. I wouldn't think twice about getting it. Like I said, I would have no problem paying $60, $65 for this. In fact, I would have to go back and look at my receipt because there's a very high likelihood that I did buy it when it was more expensive there, because that was obviously closer to when it was first released and they were just waiting for the price to come down. But it's finally down to a very, very affordable range. And again, when we're talking stuff in this price point, it is a fantastic release that brings a lot of uniqueness to the table, decent performance, but great versatility. Next up, BVLGARI Man Wood Neroli. So this one has some neroli, obviously, orange blossom, bergamot in here. Very nice, kind of sweet neroli, citrus accord, a little bit of a sugary smell, some musk going on. The woods are not too overbearing to kind of take away from that bright, uplifting smell that it is conveying, but it is there, again, to add a little bit of a backbone. Smells amazing, and for sure the opening is one of the better parts of the scent. It's very enjoyable. I could smell that opening all day. Even the dry down, it still maintains kind of the heart and the idea of the scent overall, but that opening, I mean, it grabs you, it hooks you right off the very first spray, and you will become obsessed with this one. I want to say it's, I don't know, every bit of $59, $60. We're talking 100 ml. We are also talking an eau de parfum, which I do forget about sometimes, but these are eau de parfum, so you do get a slightly higher concentration there to kind of help it along in the performance category. Okay, next up, Acqua di Gio Profondo, sea notes, orange, mineral notes, all of that stuff. Pretty standard note breakdown. I've talked about it a million times. You've probably heard it a million times as well, but it is a phenomenal choice for the very high heat. And I would say, aside from like the original Acqua di Gio, this is probably going to be one of the current best options from the line when we're talking the, you know, scorching hot, over the top heat. I would take this over something like Profumo and the new Parfum in the heat, and over even probably the EDP, and definitely over something like Acqua di Gio Absolute, which has a little bit more sweetness going on. Now, I've said it many times, but I love wearing Acqua di Gio Profumo and the new Parfum, taking that one's place. I love that DNA in the summertime. But when we're talking temperatures in excess of 100 degrees, especially with the real feel and things like that, there are going to be other options out there that I would want to consider. And if I wanted to stick with the Acqua di Gio line, this would be second up, or this would be the first up when I'm looking at other options. I probably still wouldn't reach for the original Acqua di Gio. I just think between the two, I like this better. There's not really any situation I'm going to wear the original for anymore now that we have so many flankers, especially with Profondo here. It smells amazing in the heat. It really comes to life when you get it out there in the sun, and that's what I like about it so much. A little bit more expensive. You can get it on discounters for right around 100. It's better than retail, but it's a great investment. You can get your money's worth out of it. If you wanted to, you could wear it year round, and you'll get great compliments out of this one as well. Okay, we're gonna jump over to the last, more premium product here. We have another niche offering. Just kind of wanted to toss this one in because it's a great option for this heat. XERJOFF Neo. So this one is a 50 ml bottle. I can't remember what these are going for, guys. Mid 100s, somewhere around in there probably. Low to mid, can't remember, just depends, right? Depends on the sales and things like that. But it's got bergamot, green notes, and neroli. It's one of the best bergamot niche fragrances that I have in my collection. There are so many out there. I don't dive super far into niche because, you know, that's not really what I normally talk about on the channel. And so at that point, it doesn't become worth it to me to buy up a bunch of niche. But this one is going to be a very bright bergamot here, and it's going to really kind of convey this summer mood and this bright, uplifting feeling. A little bit goes a long way. You really don't have to drown yourself in this stuff. You got to keep in mind, guys, the heat will amplify things, whereas the cold suppresses things. So if you just go with a couple sprays on this one, when it's really hot outside, that heat will bring it to life. It'll make it project more, and you just don't need as much of it. So yes, it's expensive. Again, it's going to be for someone who wants to treat themselves. You want something a little bit more expensive. You just have a more expensive taste, whatever it may be. But don't think you have to go and spray on 10 sprays or 12 sprays to make it work. That's probably just a little bit excessive. You can get away with a little bit, and you'll still be set to go in the summer heat. All right, let's keep it moving with YSL Y Eau Fraiche. Now this one, unfortunately, has been discontinued. I've kind of talked about it here before. However, it's still available all over the place on discounters and maybe even some retailers, I'm not sure. But basically the easiest way to put it, and it shouldn't come as a surprise, but it is a fresher, brighter, greener, and mintier version of YSL Y, EDT, EDP, Le Parfum, and so on. And I really like it for that reason, because they are backing off on the sweetness. You're not getting all of that sweet, syrupy apple anymore. Instead, you're getting a geranium kind of mintiness. You're still getting some of the aromatics, definitely, but they're kind of really supported by these kind of frosted, bright, fresh notes and accords as well. And the frosted glass bottle does really represent the scent very well. It's crisp, it's refreshing, it smells amazing. It still has some of that YSL Y playfulness going on in here that you would expect from the DNA, but simply it's easier to wear when it's hot outside, and it's not going to get on your nerves as much. It's a really great option that you should pick up while you still can. Okay, let's go with another affordable one, $30, $35 or so. DUNHILL Icon. It's got neroli, bergamot, and some pepper in here. Smells amazing and unique because of that neroli opening. And the way that it's compounded here, it kind of has a grape soda, fizzy, bubbly accord off the top, which is so interesting. And you'll hear that talked about, you know, in reviews or whatever. And until you smell it, you just don't realize how accurate that representation is. It really is a bizarre thing that you wouldn't expect to smell in a cologne, but it's here, and it really sets this one apart. And that neroli, bergamot, musky brightness really gives this one a great edge in the summertime. It's another one that is very upscale and classy. You know, you can wear this to the office, to work, to school, to situations where you do want to come across as well put together and successful, and you don't want to spend a ton of money. All right, let's go with Issey Miyake Low Blue Dissi Eau Fraiche version. So kind of a 125 ml bottle right here. Another affordable one on discounters. You're talking $30-ish or so, right around in that range. And again, I want to clarify, this is the Eau Fraiche. They do have Low Blue Dissi Pour Homme in, well, a blue bottle. That would honestly work okay, but this one is brighter, it's greener, it's got rosemary, mint, and bergamot here, and it would be the better option for super hot summer heat. And so that's kind of what I landed on. What I do like is that it's a unique offering. It doesn't smell like all of the others. It's leaning on the aromatics here, but still in a way to where it can be worn when it's hot outside and you don't have to really worry too much about it. I think at the price range that it falls at, it's a great option. It's something great you can pick up. And another great thing about it is most people aren't going to be wearing it around you. You know, they're not going to be knowing about this one. It's not the type of thing where when you walk into a department store, you're going to see it all over the place. Quite the opposite. I think anymore, this is probably really only available at discounters. I don't think your Macy's and Sephora are going to be stocking this one on the shelves. So something you can pick up if you want to smell unique in the summertime. Okay, and we'll finish this one off with YSL L'Homme Cologne Blue. So I think it's kind of a forgotten about flanker. You know, there's a lot of flankers and it's a little bit hard to keep up with. And the fact of the matter is, if they don't get a bunch of hype when they first come out, they kind of get buried. They kind of get swept under the rug. That initial launch stage is really important for a lot of new releases, especially these days. And this is a newer release, not brand new, but within the past couple of years. It's got sea notes, lavender, and grapefruit here. Now, in all fairness, another reason why this one hasn't gotten a ton of hype is that it's nothing outstanding. And I'll be the first to admit right here, this is not something that's super unique. It's not something that you absolutely have to have, okay? But with that being said, it is a fantastic option for summertime. It smells great, really good stuff. I don't think there's going to be anyone that will dislike how this one smells in a way that they're repulsed by it. You'll have plenty of people that don't care for it because it's not unique, and that is a valid point. But in terms of just smelling pleasant and nice and clean and crisp, this really checks off all of those boxes, and it does smell nice. You know, it's something that if you can get it for a good price, you can toss it on no matter what you're going to do, and you're going to smell fit for the situation. It's very low key. It's very easy to pull off. It's something that you can just use as a dumb reach type of scent, throw it in your gym bag, throw it in your vehicle, whatever, and you'll be set to go for no matter what. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for me. 12 stunning, fantastic options for the scorching hot, humid summer heat. Links will be down below, and again, deals will be going out to my mailing list and my texting list as well. Make sure you get on those at the link down below and send a text to the number down below as well. You'll get added to the list and you'll be the first to hear about anything worthwhile getting. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.